Hi, everyone. I am going to, I got an email right then. Give me just a second. I am going to try and share this using my phone. Okay, there we go. Oh, gosh. I look ridiculous. But that's okay. That's how it goes, right? Okay, so we're going to share there. And we're going to share there. And journey and footsteps. All right. So hopefully you guys will join me today. So today we are talking about the rooster. The rooster is our animal today. And I have to be honest, I have not tallied up the amount of questions, the amount of answers from last week. So I'm going to do that after I get off the live, and I will send a message to that person and let them know that they have won. So that means that I haven't closed comments from last week yet. So so what I do every week is I have a competition, and in my competition, every comment that's made, hi Max and Juju, hi Ryan. So every comment that's made gets a, I just realized, which way do I go so that's not on my face? Okay. Every comment that's made gets a spot on the prize wheel. And so as many comments as you make, that's how many spots you get on the prize wheel. And I was just saying that I have not done that yet today. Today's a little bit crazy. I've been working on the advent boxes, and I'm a little bit behind on my normal stuff. So I did not do that yet, but I'm going to do that as soon as I get off of this live. And whoever wins, I will let them know that they have won. So I'm so glad, Max and Juju and Ryan, I'm so glad you guys are here. So today we're talking about the rooster. So in the comments, if you know, here's a chance to get some points. Where is the rooster in the Bible? Do you know what story the rooster is in the Bible? It has to do with with one of Jesus's disciples. So that'll give you a chance. So while you're thinking about that, there are some really exciting things coming up in the month of December and for Advent. So I just wanted to kind of tell you about a couple of those things. The first thing is the Advent boxes. Those right now, you can still sign up for one if you haven't, if you've missed, if you thought that you wanted to and then you hadn't had a chance yet, you can sign up for those through the end of the day on Friday. That is just so that I make sure that I have enough materials. This is not a children's thing. This is a church-wide thing. I'm just the one who's putting them together. So we need to know by Friday how many, because we purchased enough stuff for so many, and if we need to get more stuff, I need to have time to get that. We don't know. Turner's, I think you have, but I'm not sure. So anyway, if you haven't signed up for a box yet, there's still time to do that. It's going to have materials to do a couple of the things at home, as well as, if we get to have a candlelight service in person, your candles that we hold on Christmas Eve, those will be in the box. So you can bring those with you. We're really, really hoping to get to do something outside at the very minimum, but we also know that it's important to be as safe as possible. So we're trying to straddle that and do the best we can. We also have a movie night coming up. That is going to be December 4th, which is a Friday night. And we're going to watch The Star, as has been our tradition for the past couple of years. And the Trevino family has an outdoor movie projector and screen. And so they're going to bring that up to the church, and we're going to have squares boxed off like they do at Lubbock Pavilion, and we will have it that way too. Mom says, Peter, your mom is correct. Peter and the rooster go together. Good job, Miss Bethany. So there's a sign up for that because we only have 40 spaces. So if you are interested in that, please be sure and sign up for that. And then we'll start a wait list after that in case someone signs up and then can't come. Anyway, so those are two of the things that are happening. There's lots of other things that are happening. So many crazy things in the works, but you guys are here and I'm so excited that you're here for your devotional time. So let's jump into that. Okay. So like I said, today we are going to be talking about the rooster, and we're going to be talking about Peter and the rooster. So have any of you guys ever heard a rooster crow in the morning? If you live in the city like we do, or the suburbs like we do, I guess we live more in the suburbs. Arlington's so weird. Anyway, any place that's urban, you've likely not heard the rooster crow at the crack of dawn. But out in the country, that's a totally different story. Because for centuries, roosters have been the natural alarm clock for farmers and the country folk. So roosters find a perch on top of a fence and they let their morning crow loose. And hey, here's how you get your 5 points this week. You knew I was going to say it, right? Video yourself giving your best impression of a rooster. Post it in the comments or post it in the children's on the children's page, the children's Facebook page, and you do that and you get five extra spots on the wheel. Okay. Roosters find a perch and they're letting everyone and all the animals know that it's dawn and it's time to wake up. So there's a famous story in the Bible that's about a rooster, and today we're going to talk about that. So the rooster didn't have like a special commission like Jonah and the whale. The rooster was just doing the rooster's normal job, which is crack of dawn, begins to crow. But this rooster sounded a wake-up call that changed Peter's life. Okay, its wake-up call was so important that it was written down in the Gospels for our benefit so that we can learn the mistake that was made and find the courage so that we don't make that mistake in the future. So of all of Jesus' disciples, his most loyal and most faithful was Peter. And Peter was a former fisherman who saw Jesus, and Jesus gave him the miraculous catch on the first day that they met. And Peter knew right away that Jesus was special. And he was, Peter could also be rash and impulsive, but he struggled to keep his faith at sometimes too. Peter loved Jesus very much, but he wasn't ready to stand up for Jesus, although he thought that he was. So let's just watch the video instead of me reading this part to you guys. Let me share my screen. Wait, what is this I'm reading? Hold on. Okay, I can go ahead and share it, but share audio. Share, press that button. Pause. Got it. Let's see. The person next door to you guys has a rooster and he crows all day long. All right, then. That's different. Makes sense, though. You know, like I said, Arlington's weird. You never know between the two. Okay, so here is my screen. And let me check my volume level. Okay. So here we go.
The Miracle of Mercy, Peter. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop!
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus, and he heard all of his teachings. When the time came for Jesus to die and take away the sins of all the world, Jesus had one final meal with his friends. During this meal, Jesus told his followers that the time had come for him to leave them.
Huh?
Peter asked, "Where are you going?" Jesus told him Peter couldn't follow him now,
What?
but that he would follow him later.
Wait a second.
But Peter said, "Why can't I come now? I'm ready to die for you." Jesus said, "Die for me? Peter, before the rooster crows tomorrow morning, you will deny 3 times that you even knew me." Then Jesus and his disciples went to the Mount of Olives so Jesus could pray. Along the way, Jesus told his followers that they would all abandon him.
Uh-oh.
But Peter said, "Even if everyone else leaves you, I never will." Jesus said, "Peter, this very night, before the rooster crows, you will deny 3 times that you even know me." But Peter wouldn't believe it and vowed that he would stay with Jesus until the very end. The other disciples vowed the same.
Yeah, I do.
Later on that night, Jesus was arrested by men sent by the religious teachers and priests. Peter tried to fight for Jesus, and he cut off the ear of one of the guards.
Ow.
But Jesus healed the guard
Huh?
and went quietly with the captors. All the disciples scattered just as Jesus told them they would. The men led Jesus away to the house of the high priest. Peter and another disciple followed them. Peter came to warm himself by their fire.
Hello.
A servant girl noticed him in the firelight.
Huh?
Finally, she said, "This man was one of Jesus' followers."
Oh, ma.
But Peter denied it for the first time. He said, "I don't even know him."
Oh, no.
After a while, someone else looked at him and said, "You must be one of them."
Oh.
Peter, for a second time, said, "No, I'm not."
Okay.
About an hour later, a man who knew the man whose ear Peter cut off said, "Didn't I see you in the olive grove with Jesus? This must be one of them. He comes from the same place as all of them."
Yeah, you're right.
But Peter said,
No.
"I don't know what you're talking about." And then Peter heard the crow of the rooster. Jesus turned and looked at Peter. Jesus' words flashed through his mind, and Peter left the courtyard weeping. Then Jesus died and was placed in a tomb. The disciples heard that he had come.
Okay, hold on, just real quick. This little thing right here, the reason that it's like this, it makes me giggle just because of how they do this. They insert these little bits, and they're just so great. So Jesus didn't have a tomb because Jesus wasn't wealthy. He wasn't somebody who it's kind of like the way that it is now, where people reserve grave sites. Jesus did not have any of these things, and was actually going to be just tossed. Most criminals, as Jesus was tried as, were tossed in a mass grave, and his disciples, his mother, they pleaded so that he could be buried as with their custom. And so Joseph, whoever this Joseph is, Joseph gave up his tomb for Jesus to lay in it. And that's why we have a tomb, and that's why we have the stone roll away and everything, because Joseph gave that up. Whereas what could have happened is Jesus' body would have been thrown into the mass grave. And I can only imagine how that story would have played out. So that's why it's like this, because Jesus didn't have a tomb. Okay. Just like Jesus was born in a stable, Jesus was placed to rest in someone else's space as well.
Back from the dead. Peter even saw the empty tomb and believed that Jesus was alive again.
Woohoo!
And Jesus appeared to the disciples to show him that he was alive. Some of Jesus' followers were together when Peter said, "I am going fishing."
Okay.
So they all went out to the sea, but caught nothing all night. At dawn, they saw a man standing on the beach.
Oh, hey, over here.
The man called out to them and said, "Have you caught any fish?"
Nope.
The man said, "Throw out your net on the right side and you'll get some."
Okay.
So they did, and they couldn't bring in the net because there were so many fish in it. Then one of the men on the boat said to Peter, "It's Jesus." When Peter heard that it was Jesus, he swam to the shore while the others pulled in the load to the boat. When they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them.
I miss a fish. Got it.
Jesus said, "Come have some breakfast." While they were eating, Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Peter said, "Yes, you know I love you." So Jesus said, "Then feed my lambs." Then Jesus asked again, "Do you love me?" Peter said again, "Yes, you know I love you." And Jesus said, "Then take care of my sheep." And then a third time, Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. So he said, "You know everything. You know that I love you." So Jesus said one last time, "Then feed my sheep." And so Peter...
Okay, so it's about to end, but why 3 times? Why do you think? Peter doesn't seem to remember. So why do you guys think it was 3 times?
went on to feed Jesus' sheep by helping establish the church and by writing books that we can now read in the Bible. And though he denied Jesus, he was forgiven, and many came to know the love and forgiveness of Jesus through Peter.
So true. Okay, I'm going to close that. Sorry, luminaries. That's something for the advent boxes, by the way. Okay, those are my notes. Where am I going? That's my email. Okay, there we go. Hi, guys. I found it. Okay. Okay, so we don't know. You don't know why Jesus asked him 3 times if he loved him. It is because he denied knowing Jesus 3 times. And Jesus knew this. Jesus knew it was going to happen. So as Jesus is asking him, he's reminding him that this is what you are wanting to do. And because he does that, and because he forgives Peter, Peter goes on, like they said, and does all of this teaching and writing. And there are things that we wouldn't know about if it wasn't for Peter. So it's really important that we remember that forgiveness is a huge deal because it can change everything. It can change everything. So let me see real quick. I'm going to skip down some of it because they talked about that. So Peter had the wake up call. So that was the rooster crowing was the wake up call, and never went to sleep on his faith again. So never denied Jesus again. And God gave him the courage to stand up and preach the gospel from that day forward. And Peter stood for Jesus in tough times. And even when he was facing death, Peter woke up, heard the rooster, and found the courage to stand up for Jesus. So there's another story, though, about Peter and fear. And this was when Jesus is walking on the water. So this is the story where Jesus was walking on the water. He had sent the disciples out on the boat, and they were already on the boat, and they woke up in the morning and they saw that Jesus was walking towards them, and they were amazed and didn't believe it. And so Peter says, "Well, if that's really you, then I'll come out on the water too." And Jesus says, "Well, come on." And so Peter starts walking on the water, but then there was a storm raging around them. And so Peter looks over at the waves and he starts to get scared, and he stops looking at Jesus and starts to sink. And then Jesus leans down and helps him up. And basically the point is is that there's going to be scary things that happen all around us. There's going to be things that we're fearful of. There's going to be things that don't make us feel safe. But if we keep our eyes on Jesus, then we will be safe. Okay? We are safe. Jesus takes care of us. All right? So the things in your mind, like if you're scared about something in the dark or something like that, like just know that you're not alone and that Jesus is with you. And that will help you to calm yourself a little bit, to calm the storm. Okay? So Peter needed to keep his eyes on Jesus. And the same thing happened the night that Jesus was put on trial. Like the video we just saw. Peter took his eyes off Jesus, metaphorically, by saying that he didn't know him. And he saw how angry the guys were that were coming to take Jesus. And he heard murder on their lips. And he looked at that instead of looking at Jesus, and he began to sink and denied Jesus 3 times. So then when the rooster crowed, it reminded him, wait a minute, that's not what you're going to do. You don't have to be ashamed or embarrassed because Jesus forgives you, and you don't have to be fearful. So Peter went on because of that forgiveness as a different man. So when you guys are doing something with your family, and let's say you or your friends, and you do something where you mess up, maybe you're playing a game and you get too competitive and you get angry, or you are just doing something outside and somebody says something that makes you mad, and so you kind of are like, man, I don't want to talk to you, that sort of thing. But then the people that you are being mean to, let's say, they forgive you. Like, that just makes you feel good. It changes everything around you, and it changes what happens. So that is why forgiveness is so important, because if you don't have that component, if you don't have that piece of it, then there's still all the anger, and there's still after you're mad, when you finally get to calm down for a little bit and you realize, oh, maybe that wasn't the right thing. And then you go to the person and you tell them that you're sorry and they don't forgive you. Like, then that makes you mad again. So it just kind of continues. And that's why the forgiveness is so important. Okay. And even if the person doesn't ask for forgiveness, we should still give it, because it can change the world. I'm not being dramatic here. It really can. Okay. So as much of the story of the rooster embarrassed Peter, because he really was embarrassed that he denied Jesus. And I'm sure Peter told that story many times to urge believers to keep their eyes on Jesus. Don't get distracted. Don't get scared. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and he will help you and give you the courage that you need in tough times. The rooster can be our wake-up call too. And in these hard times, we can focus on Jesus and we can stand up for what we believe in. Okay? All right. Who is ready for trivia? Trivia, 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 trivia. Okay. I'll stop. It's still fun. Okay, here we go. Share, small, big. I did it. I always get so proud of myself when I do that. Okay. No, I didn't. Oh, come on. I could have sworn I did this right this time. Okay, how to play. So this one is going to be just question and answer. So type your answer into the chat, okay? There's no A, B, or C or anything. We got to see, show what you know, all right? Show what you know. Which disciple did Jesus say would deny him? Which disciple did Jesus say would deny him? So who's the disciple we've been talking about? Okay, who's the disciple we're talking about today? Peter! Peter. Okay, how many times did Jesus say Peter would deny him? How many times did Jesus say that Peter would deny him? Think about the rooster. Think about the questions. How many times? 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 times. 3 times. 3 times denied, and then 3 times asked if you love Jesus. What happened as soon as Peter denied Jesus the 3rd time? Ooh, what happened? Have you been listening? You got it? What happened? As soon as Peter denied Jesus that very 3rd time, the rooster crowed. So as long as you said something along those lines, the rooster. The rooster. Here's where the rooster comes in. You're good. Why did Peter deny Jesus? Ooh. Why did Peter deny Jesus? Did he still love Jesus? Was he still proud to know and be a part of Jesus's tribe? Why did he deny Jesus? I feel like I'm saying Jesus weird tonight, but oh well. He was afraid. He was scared. He was so scared. He had just watched Jesus be dragged off to be killed, and he was scared. He's human, by the way. Those of you who watched my sermon, he's human. Will Jesus give us the courage to stand up for Jesus, for him, when we are afraid? And all of God's children said, yes, absolutely. Okay. How did y'all do? Oh my gosh, I forgot to close my email. Oh, I'm the worst. Okay. I love that you guys stay with me. Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all. Okay. So here are a couple more questions to give you some places in the chat. Ooh, have you ever been woken up by a rooster? Okay, Ryan, I'm going to feel like the answer is yes if that rooster is right next to you. Have you ever been woken up by a rooster? And let's see. What did Jesus tell Peter that he would do before the rooster crowed? What did Jesus tell Peter? Why did Peter get scared? Why was Peter scared? Ooh, this is such a good one. Ooh, I want to see y'all's answers on this one. How can we get courage to stand for Jesus in tough times? How can we get courage to stand for Jesus in tough times? I think these are all the same. Okay. Okay. Great. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. So like I said, I did not get a chance to spin the wheel yet. So I'm going to go look up last week's and I will spin the wheel for you guys. I'm really trying to not be on my name. So I'm going to spin the wheel for you guys, and whoever wins, I will send them a text message and let them know and see what gift cards that you want. And I believe that I am all caught up on gift cards. So if you think that I owe you a gift card, I need you to let me know, because that means that either it didn't go through or it's not on my list and I need to put it on my list. So if you are one that I've said, hey, I'm going to get you a gift card and I haven't done it yet, I need you to let me know, because I am under the impression that I have done everything. So if I haven't, please, please, please let me know. I would absolutely hate for there to be somebody out there waiting for something from me and being disappointed. So please talk to me. Let me know. I will not have Kids Connect next week. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and so I'm sure you guys are going to be doing things, and we're going to be, I don't know what's happening, but I might hop on here just to say hi, but I won't have a devotional next week, and then the week after that begins our last week of our devotion for the animals, and we'll be jumping into Advent. Isn't that exciting? Christmas time's coming. Christmas time's coming. Christmas time's coming. I have to finish it. And I know I'm going home. I think those are the words. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you have a fantastic week and a wonderful Thanksgiving. And come see me for Sunday school, and I'll tell you that, because I'll see you at Sunday school. So Sunday school, remember, 10:30 on Zoom. If you need the link, let me know. I give gift cards for that too. And y'all have a fantastic week. I'll see you later.